I'm Leslie Durso, the plant-based chef at the Four Seasons Punta Mita, and this is the story of me making vegan barbacoa. Barbacoa is an ancient traditional way of cooking meat in Mexico by digging a huge brick-lined pit in the ground and steaming and smoking the meat. I saw Chef Jorge, the executive chef at the Four Seasons, make a barbacoa for an event earlier in the year, and I thought the process was so cool, aside from the fact that he was making lamb and beef with it. But I really wanted to try it to see if vegetables would work. And I was really excited when they gave me this opportunity to do it for a huge event that we were throwing for 250 people. So no pressure if it didn't turn out. Thank gosh it did. And I was super happy. The whole team rallied around making this, and it made it a really fun experience. The technique is to cover the vegetables in this case, I used jackfruit, cauliflower, cactus petals, mushrooms, and spring onions. And to cover them all in this beautiful marinade, we used an adobo sauce that Chef Hector created that was, chef's kiss, amazing. I told you it was a group effort. We made a fire in the pit and let it get super, super hot. Then we took what's best to be described as a giant cast iron basket and lined it with banana leaves and filled it with all of the marinated vegetables. And then we covered it with more banana leaves. And I decided to do vegetables instead of plant-based meat because I wasn't really sure if there were any of them that could stand up to this kind of cooking process. Does anyone have any experience with slow cooking plant-based meats? I would love to know your thoughts if you want to put them in the comments. So we carried all of this out to the fire pit. And when I say we, I mean they carried the big, giant, heavy cast iron baskets and I carried the banana leaves. We placed a large pot at the bottom of the pit right on top of the hot coals and poured water into it until it was about 3/4 of the way full. Now this water was the key to this whole thing because it's what steamed the vegetables and then it's what caught all of the juice runoff from the vegetables that created this beautiful broth that we used later. So next into the pit went the giant cast iron basket of goodies and it was so heavy, you guys. I can't believe they could lift this. Then we covered the pit with banana tree leaves and then a woven cover, and then a wooden round cover. And then you have to stomp down to make sure that there's no smoke coming out. And next we laid the tarp on top and poured local dirt around the edges to seal it. And then they created this X on top, which I teased that it was kind of like an X marks the spot. But honestly, I think it was kind of a cross to pray to God that everything cooked correctly. I was so nervous at this point. I just didn't know how long it was going to take the veggies to cook. And you only get one shot. I'm serving this for 250 people that night. And so if we open it and they're all mush, it would have been a disaster. And I don't know what I would have done. But thank gosh, we did not have that. The ceremony traditionally is done at sunset and then the meat cooks overnight. But because we were doing veggies, we decided 3.5 hours was about the right amount of time. So we started cooking in the afternoon and then we took them out 3.5 hours in, which was just at sunset. And it was so beautiful. It was a classic Punta Mita sunset, which is one of my favorite places to watch the sunset. Put in the comments your favorite place to watch the sunset. I would love to know that. Anyway, all of that worrying about timing was for nothing because the veggies were literally perfect, so tender and amazing. So we removed that beautiful broth that was underneath it as well as the basket. And it was just, I was so happy. You can see my face. I'm so excited. Traditionally, after the meat is cooked, it's shredded. So we decided to chop all the vegetables and shred them and mix them all together. So it was just this big mix of veggies. And then that night, I took the chopped veggies and we mixed it with the cooking liquid that came from the pot and we sauteed it in a pan until it was warm and all married together. And then I served them with homemade corn tortillas, of course, salsa verde, onions, cilantro, and a squeeze of lime. Now, these 250 people loved the barbacoa. It was a huge hit. I was so excited that I got to marry the traditional Mexican techniques that I love and admire with my style of plant-based cooking. So thank you for watching and subscribe if you want to see more of my cooking adventures.